if you would, just take a minute and think about some of the teachers you had growing up in school, and think about how certain ones stood out from the crowd than others, and maybe even the effects that they had on you from, I don't know, maybe one-on-one talks or even strictly student-teacher relationship, how they contributed to your education and taught you something about who you were or helped to inspire you to become something you maybe thought you couldn't. Tonight, I want to take everyone on a journey with me into a certain classroom in my high school to give you the honor to meet a teacher of mine that I refer to as Miss Burnett. Welcome to Chemistry Honors Class, students. Since this is a fast-paced honors class, I will expect all of you to keep up with me, and if it becomes too hard for you, maybe you might want to consider finding another class. If you're sitting in the back, please be sure that you can hear everything that I'm saying, because your eyes and ears should be on me at all times. I will also tell you about myself throughout the year, so pay attention, because you never know what will be on the test. By the time you leave my class, you will be prepared for any college and know that you can do anything you want. None of you are small town, and none of you will ever be. This was my first impression and the first speech that's actually very shortened that I received from Kelly Burnett. At first I guess I was blown away, because she was very direct and has a bit of a northern accent and talks very quickly, much faster than I can. I hope she would forgive me if she ever saw this for my impression. One essential part of why I chose to speak about her tonight to all of you is because she always promoted all of her students to do the best they could in anything and everything they could, and I owe it to her and her message through her personal life that she shared with us and her life lessons that we learned aside from chemistry, how to be proud of the person you are and realize that even though we grew up in a small town in Florida, we aren't always meant to be just that. And one of the first lessons that she taught is when life gets hard, you have to think outside the box. She constantly pushed all of us in her efforts to make us understand a subject that most of us either didn't like or really weren't going to apply very much, because we weren't really scientists and at first weren't interested in chemistry at all. But she encouraged us. One of the things that I'll always remember is encouraged us to write inside of our textbooks, a lot like you would if you were taking an English class or analyzing a piece of writing, because she said we always wanted to understand and be able to comprehend anything that she taught, and if we didn't understand it, we could work through it together, because as students she improved, or as students we improved, and she improved her teaching skills. She always had creative ways of teaching material that was actually advanced college level. I didn't find that out until last year, of course, but she would do like very interesting things, such as when we learned about the periodic table of elements, for instance. She would have us do activities such as take out singles ads and kind of put ourselves, I guess, in the shoes of whichever group we were assigned, kind of an outside-the-box way of thinking. Aside from learning about various gases and chemical exchanges in relation to chemistry. She taught us about scuba diving, and she was actually a master scuba diver herself, one of the first women ever in history from her area. The second thing she taught us was how to overcome obstacles, and most of these were taught through her own personal example. She would always encourage us to apply to universities or go to a community college if we weren't really seeking very much schooling, because she said, again, that we could never really lose our true potential as long as we were where we wanted to be. She also confessed, and I found this very, very inspirational, that she had a stroke at the age of 29 as a mother of 2 children and, of course, a wife to her husband. She couldn't use the right side of her body very well, and it took her a year and a half to be able to regain walking and talking, and she still would always move around a lot in the classroom because she said she got self-conscious because one of her hands actually still shakes from the effects of the stroke. But she actually managed to, this happened during her senior year in college, and she actually managed to make herself right with her left hand in order to pass all of her classes and do what she needed to do. She was actually a nationally board certified teacher of the year that I took her chemistry class, and she had taught all over the world. For a short while she was a professional dancer around the world. That was her dream, and after that she decided to, of course, finish college, and when she came to Florida, it wasn't until they told her that she wasn't board certified, and in order to teach in the state, she would have to go through a rigorous process, which is pretty much like getting your doctorate in 6 months for a teacher. And she actually accomplished that, so it was nice to be able to see her reaction, and she actually called her family and everything during class. So she also taught us not to settle for what we think we have to have. She always told us to look beyond our surroundings, and encouraged us to pursue anything that we wanted, because she herself had done the same thing. She graduated her high school as prom king or prom queen, excuse me, and married her football star prom king husband. And everyone always told her she would never go anywhere in life because she was from a small town and she couldn't really, there wasn't really a lot she could do to change that. So I guess that poured over into what she taught all of us about being from a small town and striving for big goals, because she herself had done a lot and has and will continue to do a lot for everyone who has the ability to have her as a teacher or learn from her. It was actually from her that I decided to pursue going to a public and prestigious university my senior year, because I felt that I was from a small town and it was just too big of a task and too worldly for me. But she said to me before I left, even though it'll be hard, know that I'll be in the back of your mind telling you you can do it, because there's nothing you can't do. You passed my class, so that means you're ready, and you'll be ready for anything that comes at you, because nothing is ever small town, and nothing will ever be. So to all of us who have had teachers like Kelly Burnett, we know how special and significant they are, and I would encourage anyone who has had these people in their lives to inspire others the same way she has me.